Hi guys, and welcome to this week's weekly lesson. In this week's weekly lesson, we're going to be discussing how to get out of trouble, how to hit a punch shot and get the ball back into play so that we can eliminate those big scores. I see far too often amateurs from this position on the golf course trying to hit it over the tree or trying to get too aggressive. And even when they are hitting a punch shot to try play safe, more often than not, it's taking them one or two more shots than it should to get in the hole because they're trying to hit the punch shot with the wrong technique. So we're going to talk about setup, we're going to talk about ball position, and then we're going to discuss what makes the ball come out low. And in this week's video, I'm also going to talk about how to move the ball from left to right, but also keep it low, which is quite a tough shot in general. So over here, we're on the 10th hole on the East course. I've pushed my drive out to the right. I do have a little bit of a gap, as you can see, underneath this palm tree. The coconut tree is relatively low hanging with the branches, so I'm going to have to hit a very low shot, but I still have 170 yards. So for me, I really want to try and get this as close to the green as possible, or get it out into the fairway to give myself a chance of making par. So the way I'm going to do that is there's certain things we need to make sure of. So if I sit up to the camera this way, we're going to make sure we're standing a little bit more narrow. We're going to move the ball. Obviously, we're normally in the front of the stance with a 5-iron. I'm going to move that ball slightly back, narrow my stance, because the narrower you stand, the lower that ball is going to come out. I'm going to have my hands slightly ahead of the ball, and I'm going to have my weight about 65% on my left side. I'm going to try and stay on my left side to help me get a descending blow into the golf ball. The most important thing with this is when you're trying to keep the ball low, you want to actually swing it a bit softer, and you want to be hitting down on it so you can sort of maintain the loft to the striking zone instead of using your hands and lofting the club up and sending it up into the tree. So the feeling is going to be from here, we're going to make sure we take the club a little bit more up and outside, and we're going to feel like when we're coming through into impact, we're going to hold our hands ahead, and we're going to keep our hands very passive and hold the club face slightly open through impact. The swing path is going to be slightly up and outside, and then we're going to hold those hands, try and keep the loft on the club. Don't loft it up too much, almost try and feel like your hands stay way ahead and there's no release of the hands on the way through. That'll help you keep it low, and it will also help you shape it left to right. So the way we're going to hit this shot is, I'm going to show you in a sec here. You can see I've got a bit of space on the left side. My ideal position here is obviously on the green, but the most important thing is getting it out of the trouble for one shot, and if I don't get it on the green, I leave myself with a decent chip and putt for par. So I'm going to try and aim it at the bunker just before the Angkor Wat representation, and if I do manage to shape it left to right, it will run up onto the green. If not, I'm going to be in the fairway and I'm going to try and make my par. So let's try that setup. So narrow stance, ball slightly back in the stance, gonna have my hands ahead. Going to maintain that club face and the hands ahead of the club face all the way through impact. We're not going to release the club face, not going to turn it over. And we're going to swing it with a full swing. As we strike the ball, we're going to try and hold our hands here. As we hit and make contact, we're going to stop the club from moving. So we limit any chance of that club lofting up and sending the ball up into the air. The other thing is, you can hit this pretty much like a full swing. Obviously, you're going to abbreviate and exaggerate that finish. But you want to swing it smooth. The harder you hit this ball, the more chance you're going to have of hitting it up in the air. So it's a full swing, but probably at about 50% speed or 60% speed to get that ball starting low. And then obviously by holding the club face open with an out to in path, you're going to get the ball to shape left to right. So let's give that a try. Something like that, started under the coconut tree, worked its way all the way back, landed probably about 5 feet short of the green, and ran up probably about 20 foot to the flag. Very happy with that result, got the desired launch angle and the desired shape. So if you keep these things in mind, you'll definitely be able to escape the trouble a little bit better. Later on this year, we'll probably talk about shaping that ball right to left and also keeping it low. But it's a very, very useful shot, and I'm sure it will help you lower your scores and get you out of trouble easier. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.